Today, we're going to dive into the heavens to try and understand something that's actually, well, deeply human. Why the gods of ancient cultures look so much like the societies that created them. We're going to see how their celestial order was often a direct blueprint for life right here on Earth.
You ever stop and wonder why the gods in mythology aren't just kind of floating around, being all-powerful? Why do they have hierarchies and rivalries, and even these really messy family squabbles? Well, that's the big mystery we're cracking today, because it turns out all their divine drama tells us pretty much everything about our own.
Okay, so to get started, we need a key term on the table, a pantheon. And this isn't just some random collection of gods, right? It's an organized system, basically a society for the divine. And just like any society, it has rules, it has structures, and it definitely has power dynamics.
So our investigation is going to begin with our very first clue. We're heading to the ancient Mediterranean, where we're going to see this incredibly powerful link between how the gods were organized and how the state was organized.
So, in places like ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, the divine world was pretty much structured as the ultimate royal court. I mean, you had a king of the gods, a divine council, a really clear hierarchy. And this wasn't just for show, not at all. This celestial government served a very earthly purpose, to legitimize the power of the pharaoh or the king right there on the ground.
And here we see two different cultures using the exact same playbook. In Egypt, the whole divine hierarchy was built around kingship and the afterlife, and the pharaoh was the bridge, the key connection between humans and gods. Over in Mesopotamia, the pantheon was set up to reinforce cosmic order, which, surprise, surprise, also happened to validate the king's authority on Earth. See? Different details, but the same political goal.
So, the crucial takeaway here is that these weren't just stories. The structure of the heavens was a really powerful political tool. It sent a super clear message. The way things are run down here, well, that's the way they're run up there. This meant that challenging the king wasn't just a political act anymore. It was a rebellion against the very order of the universe.
Okay, let's move to our second clue and see how this all builds. We're shifting gears now, from the political hierarchies of the Mediterranean all the way to the philosophical worldview of ancient India, where the divine structure tells a totally different kind of story.
Yeah, unlike that top-down org chart we just looked at, the Indian pantheon is organized around this really profound philosophical idea that time and existence aren't a straight line, but an endless cycle. The gods here aren't just rulers, they're more like agents of a cosmic process.
And at the core of this whole worldview is the Trimurti. First up, you have Brahma, the creator. Then comes Vishnu, the preserver, who maintains universal and moral order. And finally, you have Shiva, the destroyer, who brings things to an end, but not out of malice, right? It's to pave the way for recreation. It's this beautiful, dynamic system of cosmic balance.
So, our second clue shows us that a pantheon can be way more than just a political blueprint. It can be a philosophical one, too, encoding a culture's deepest, most fundamental understanding of how the universe actually works, and what our place is within it. All right, for our final clue, let's head to a pantheon that I'm betting a lot of us are familiar with, the gods of Greece and Rome. Here, the divine organization looks less like a government or a cosmic cycle, and a lot more like a family, a very powerful one.
I mean, think about it. Zeus is the patriarch. He's the head of the household, but he's constantly being challenged by his wife Hera and his squabbling relatives and children. This whole structure, with its clear divisions of power, its different domains, and even its gender roles, was a direct reflection of the aristocratic family structures of Greek society. The gods' drama was just human drama, but on a cosmic scale.
And hey, this isn't just some casual observation I'm making. It's a really well-documented pattern. As the scholar Walter Burkert explains, divine organization often maps directly onto the existing political and kinship structures. In other words, the family tree of the gods was literally designed to look just like the family trees of the powerful people on Earth.
Now, the Romans, they were masters of organization, and they absolutely applied this to religion. When they conquered new lands, especially Greece, they didn't just impose their own gods. No, they saw an opportunity. They systematically absorbed the gods of others and used it as a tool for political unity.
The term for this is syncretism, and you can basically think of it as a divine merger and acquisition. Rome would find a local god of war and just say, oh, that's just what we call Mars. By equating Greek gods with their own, Zeus becomes Jupiter, Hera becomes Juno. They created this shared religious framework that really helped hold their vast, diverse empire together. Pretty smart.
Okay, we've gathered our clues from all across the ancient world,
From political states to cosmic cycles to family hierarchies, I think it's time we put it all together and finally solve our divine mystery.
So we come all the way back to our big question. Why the divine org charts and the crazy family drama? The answer, it turns out, is beautifully simple. Our pantheons are a mirror. They reflect not what is necessarily up there in the heavens, but what is right here on Earth, our values, our power structures, and our understanding of the world.
So when you lay it all out, the pattern becomes crystal clear. In the Mediterranean, a divine monarchy reflected the value of kingship. In India, a cyclical trinity reflected cosmic order. And in Greece and Rome, an aristocratic family mirrored their social hierarchy. Each pantheon was a totally unique cultural blueprint.
And that's why this matters so much. These pantheons were so much more than just cool stories or mythology. They were a social charter. By writing their societal rules into the very fabric of the cosmos, they made those rules feel natural, eternal, and divinely ordained. It's a really powerful way to explain and justify the world that you live in.
And this leaves us with one last, really crucial question to chew on. If ancient pantheons were a mirror reflecting their societies, what do our modern myths, our superheroes, our celebrity culture, the whole shebang, what does that reflect about the values of our world today?